I don't know if you're a friend supporting the cause or you a foe operating with the ops. But before you walk away, I want you to know one thing. My mic sounds nice.
One thing.
One thing.
One thing. All right. 7 years ago, the song Shiesty Summer was released. Well, Shoe Peisty wants everybody to know his shiestiness cannot be contained to just one season. That's right. He allegedly kidnapped Gucci Mane, and the internet kept it 100. They never fail to disappoint. Africa Bambaataa died from natural causes, and celebrities' responses divided the internet. We will play at our own risk and tell you how we discuss his legacy. Get it? Play with his own risk. You see what I did there?
As the planet rocks. Yes, as the planet rocks. No
All
doubt.
that and more. Plus, we're going to give you our Robinson report.
Welcome to My Mic Sounds Nice, a freestyle conversation about health, relationships, and culture. Once again, this is Tim, one of your hosts. Always glad to be in the building.
My mic sounds nice. This is Kevin, aka Reggie Jacks, coming from the Bronx. Thanks for tuning in today.
My mic sounds nice. This is Aaron from Strong Island. I'm back. I got a haircut. I'm human again. I'm not healthy, but I'm healthy because I'm with you two.
Nah, you're looking good, man.
You're looking good. You're well groomed. You're well groomed.
Without a
We
doubt.
like that.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Because how did it look yesterday, fellas? Tell the people. Tell the people.
I'm gonna say yesterday he looked how he had been feeling from the last show. So, but now it's kind of like, yo, when you make the outside look good, then the inside follows suit. So it's like, yo,
It was James Brown said, "It look good, you feel good."
it was like, yeah. Like yesterday he looked like Grady.
There you go. That is exactly. Yo, I walked in the barber shop, and the owner was like, "Yo, where you been, man?" I was like, "Yo, I was in the hospital." He was like, "Well, you feel better after you get a cut. You look good, and then you feel good." I'm like, "Yo, say I look horrible. Why don't you? Just tell me how bad I look."
Hey, man, but
Like you feel better after you.
but everybody needs a barber that can keep it 100.
Yeah, man.
Be like, yo, this even if he ain't got an appointment, we got to get him in a chair.
Yeah, for real. This is a freebie.
Exactly. You walked into the barber shop and they treated you like you was on the set of the Pit. Like, yeah, we got to take on the room 12.
Yo,
His blood pressure is low. We
For
lost his
real,
hairline.
like we need two barbers. We need two barbers.
Two barbers, exactly. Extra foam.
Yo,
Get
yo.
that razor sharp.
You sweep up. Why? It's too much hair. Sweep up.
Exactly. But now you looking good, man. You looking good.
It was bad.
Kev surviving the school budget season.
Man,
Yo, he sounded like he's about to die earlier this week, man. He was like,
Yo, man. We was talking yesterday. He's like, "Yo, got deadlines. I'm on a run." I thought I was on the set. The New Jack City was on the roof with Nino. It's like we can never go back. Let's go back to you and me, man.
Yo.
Forget the budgets. Forget the assets and liabilities.
Click,
you know,
click.
we reached the point. I was getting so many calls from principals and things. I was like, "What?"
Yo, I hate
Nah,
you,
he
man.
definitely was like, hold on. When I was talking to him, hold on.
Listen,
Talk 20 minutes later. Yo, hold on.
yo, this is what next week is finals week for the semester. Got to review 18 projects. Half of my class are graduating seniors, so you know how they coming.
They want that grade.
I need this grade. I need this grade. Well, you should have thought about that 15 weeks ago. But it's all
Yeah.
good. So let's dive in, man. Let's get it.
Yes.
All right, so I'll give us the brief summary, right? So on April 3rd, it was reported via multiple media outlets that rapper Gucci Mane was kidnapped and robbed by fellow artist Pooh Shiesty. We later found out that there was 9 people who had been arrested, including Pooh Shiesty's father and I don't know if other family members.
His girlfriend, Gucci Mane's girlfriend.
And Gucci Mane's girl.
No. I'm sorry.
no.
Pooh Shiesty's girl.
Yeah, and Pooh Shiesty's girlfriend.
I was about to say that puts a whole different spin on
Yeah,
it.
I know,
wow.
for real. Like, yeah.
I will say there's multiple voices online that made fun of Gucci Mane for seemingly cooperating with the police after being victimized by the crime. So
who could that be?
yeah. So I got
Uncle Murder.
I got a question. Is corroborating the facts with the authorities, is that good for the blacks or is it bad for the blacks?
I love the blacks. I love the blacks.
Yo,
Yeah, nah.
you know, it's there's so many ways to take this, and for us, we are not gonna try to position ourselves as present day Pooh Shiesty, Memphis rap experts, or even Gucci experts. This is more so a conversation, as you said, like the notion of street cred, the notion of snitching rules. The bottom line is we cannot talk about hip hop being 53 years old, but yet everybody is still supposed to operate under some code as if we all are in our 20s. And, you know, and then the problem is you have older heads still pushing narratives as they're young, and then the young ones seem to take the narrative to the extreme. And in these types of situations, there's no winners. Like everybody loses.
I mean, when you look at anybody who's really, really been on the streets, put in work, quote unquote, and went to jail and paid for it, meaning they lost friends, they done got in jail fights, attacked people, been attacked. Those people come home and never talk positively about jail. They never talk positively about their experience. They often, if there's any evolution of them as humans, talk about what they went through was a mistake and was wrong. It is strange to me, not to say that some of the people that were talking in the hip hop community haven't had problems. But I don't know, there's all types of soldiers. You could be a soldier who did a tour for 2 years and a soldier who did a tour for 25 years. And you're going to view that differently. And I think people who have spent 25 years in jail and that type of thing realize that street cred is not something to be kicking in your 50s. It is not something to be proud of. It's not something to embrace. And it's a shame that when there's a disconnect between our youth and older people, that when we do speak to the youth, like you said, Tim, we're reinforcing their beliefs. There should be a difference because we have wisdom. But if we're kicking the same message, that's really disheartening.
You know, I look at it like, I understand if you're out there and you're doing crime, and I got people with me, and I'm out here doing things, and we doing things together. That's the choice, that's the decision that I made. So I understand that in the no snitching sense. Like I'm not supposed to, like if I get caught, I'm not supposed to give up the next man because I got caught, because we all knew what we was doing.
Yes.
I understand that to an extent, and I think that we take that ethos across many different spectrums. The police do it, like all of them, like that.
Yes.
That is what is expected. But what's not expected is if you a victim, if I'm not part of the crime, and I'm just a victim, that's not snitching because you victimized me. The people that have been in jail, that have been on the streets and trying to live by this code, for somebody that's not doing that right now is kind of crazy to me. They don't want evolution. And for some reason, we continue to support it and push it up. Like, I often talk about growing up, how my parents worked in the criminal justice system, and my sister, sister counselor, Sing, mother was counselor in the prison. Father was at one at a detention center. So when I was young, not only did I live on the grounds, I often communicated and worked with them. Going with father, take your kid to work day. I'm there with my father. It was before that time, but I'm there with my father, there with the kids. None of those people, and these were kids that were murderers in the 70s. None of them people, they always talk to me about, make sure you do good in school. Make sure you do this. From the best to the worst, there was not one kid that ever tried to encourage that. And I find it amazing that here we are all these years later, where people are kicking just craziness.
That's such a beautiful point. That I mean, I grew up in East New York. I grew up in pink houses. So I was in pink houses in the 70s to the mid 80s. And I always tell people that part of the reason why I am where I am is because of the warnings in the form of wisdom from the OGs. That it's like, when we was growing up, if a girl got sent down south, that meant she was pregnant and she went down to have a baby. If the dude there's like the dude is up north, he got locked up. I mean, that was like there was codes. But to both of you all's points, I remember sitting on the bench and when they came back home, the first time I ever heard jail glorified was on a record. It was never a individual conversation. Most of the times they would just say little to nothing and just be like, yo, you don't want no parts of this. And we were of the ilk that, we didn't really at least I didn't over question the big homies. If they said that, for the most part, that was enough. But especially when they found out I was heading to college, oh, yo, you can't be out here. Like, yo, something is about to happen. Because for them, I represented what they believed they could no longer achieve, but it was almost like in their way, kind of paying tenants or something like, yeah, like, yo, I made these mistakes, but you better go to school. Like, I better not see you out here. Like, yo, like, aren't you Miss Jones' son? Like, yo, I got respect for your moms. Like, all of that now. And I know we're sounding like the old dudes, but it's like, yo, I'm thankful to be the old dude. I don't care. But that part has changed now, because if you're looking at, okay, Pooh Shiesty, he's 26. My son is 26. So you saying his dad was involved? I don't know if he was a teenage father or whatever, but you're still talking about somebody that's in their 40s. At some point, you got to know better.
I mean, you just can have an assessment of the circumstance. They went to Staples, and in Staples, they print out a release form for him to get out the off the label. That's absurd. I mean, like, how you went to Staples to get a legal form to have Gucci Mane sign it to get you off the record label. That's crazy to me. Then you get to the studio. Your girl is there. Your father is there. Your father ends up catching a federal charge because he tells you, yeah, make sure he dates it, and involves him in a criminal conspiracy. You have your other members robbing um a white civilian videographer who don't have no street anything. He's a straight civilian, and you're robbing him and taking his watches. They say when he tried to give the watches back, the guy was like, keep them. Like, it's time for jail. So it wasn't even a well thought out plan. Your Pooh Shiesty, you've been in jail for 5 years. You have an ankle monitor on. You can't be around felons, and you can't be around firearms. So you're not home. You're around felons. You have firearms, and there's videotape. That is the epitome of a crash out.
Now let's say this really quick.
Allegedly.
One, allegedly, and two, there are so many issues with the justice system. Like, it's like, oh, you can't be around this, you can't be around that. Okay, well, if that's all who I live around, where am I supposed to be? I'm not saying that to excuse behaviors. I'm just trying to give a well-rounded thing.
Yes.
But another piece of this, where what really led us to have this discussion, the actual facts of the incident that's alleged, things will come out, it's what have you. I got issue with these 40-plus-year-old rappers coming out with he shouldn't have snitched. He's a rat. And this,
No,
that, and the
absolutely.
other. That's like, hold
Yeah,
up.
absolutely.
But
But we
like,
also
to
need
me, that's the most important alarming thing. Like, you know, Pooh Shiesty, he did what he did. Some, you know, people, what is it? They say what is it? Your brain doesn't fully develop until you like in your mid-20s.
That frontal lobe.
That frontal lobe. He's 26, you know, and I don't know how well he was put together before this point. And you know, I understand that. But my question is, what's up with the rest of y'all? Because y'all ain't 20. Y'all are well beyond the mid-20s. And to me, it's the response which is so concerning to me, because that speaks to a larger how we're raising, speaking, what we're putting out there into the ether, and what we're encouraging others to do.
And fellas, that is the reason we decided to discuss this. But I will say, in a certain degree, I take issue with not bringing it up what Pooh Shiesty did, and the fact that it's a crash out, and not mentioning it here, because we just talked about how the OGs would pull the coattails of the youngsters and pull your coattails, Tim, and said, hey, don't do A, B, and C.
Yeah.
This is just us on the mic, on video right now, saying that was stupid, and here's why it was stupid.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And so when I bring it up, I know that wasn't, you know, why we wanted to talk about this. But I think it's important to put light on.
No, it adds context, but without a doubt.
It definitely does. The one thing that I don't like about the discourse that I hear online is this civilian, not civilian. We not at war. We not like, no. I fully object. People are doing what they're doing, and I don't think there's no. All right,
the reason I'm okay with that is because
it reinforces this foolishness.
But they're okay. But the reason I'm okay with it is because it only harms those people, and it in a sense protects the regular person just minding their business, that they should be treated differently. And I don't, to be honest, as a civilian, I don't want those protections taken away. I want them, when I go to LA, I want them to look at me and know that they don't have to say, where you from, homie?
What set you claiming?
Yeah. So
like what set you claiming? Yeah. The Hilton, because that's what I'm saying.
The W. I love that, Tim. What set you claiming? The Hilton?
Be like, yo, I'm an awards member, B.
I got free breakfast in the morning. What you talking about?
You know what I'm saying? Be like, yo.
I love that.
I mean, I hear you. So let me ask a question. How do you feel about like Gucci Mane? Because you know he's had the situation in the past where somebody broke into his house and he wound up shooting somebody, and unaliving somebody. Now we got this situation. Is this growth? Is this positive growth? Is this?
He is someone who is and this has been verified by his wife, in a famous Breakfast Club interview, has schizophrenia and is on, has mental health issues and is properly medicated now. And she, manages his career and, keeps him on the straight and narrow. And I think it's someone who is getting the proper health care and that has grown up and has grown and sees the value in being a husband, being a family man, being a CEO. And to be honest with you, I don't think people criticizing Gucci Mane, which is another part of it that bothers me, is you can't lie. One, you can't lie to the feds, first of all. So you better be truthful when they come asking you questions.
Why can't you lie to the feds?
Because it's federal law. Was it 5 years for perjury?
Yeah, you will find yourself in jail.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Because it just feels like, and to your point, that you hope that Gucci understood or understands what he has to lose by lying to the feds or by trying to handle this street. what he has to lose.
Yeah.
That like, yo, you're not just the rapper anymore. You're a husband. You're a CEO. You're 46 years old. I'm pretty sure he probably has children. Like, it's at some point, at some point, the game has to elevate. You know what I mean? That like
the really things quick, you care about, the things that you value,
a really quick metaphor. That's like, okay, even though LeBron is still in the league, he's not playing the same. That at this stage of the game, I got to be more facilitator. I got to be more coach. I got to be prepping that next gen. Like, I'm not that 18-year-old with the thick headband anymore. So why is it in hip hop that it's kind of like no matter how old you get, you still are trying to portray what got you in? But then we keep talking about how we're going to elevate and move forward. That's like, yo, do we really want this for our children? Like, that's really where I'm at. Like, this culture in the condition, and a lot of people that are talking and social media and these platforms allow a lot of people to talk. That's a whole nother issue. That should they be talking with an amplified voice? You can say whatever you want, but should it be amplified? And then understand that now what people say pops up as evidence in court.
Yes.
That's like, yo, you're talking about me calling things out. Okay, Pooh Shiesty, there's lyrics and songs that you've made that allude to this incident.
Yes.
Then Gucci, he comes out with a track that lays it out. So for us, we can either listen to people share their opinion or listen to the records from people who were in the room.
And get
let
me just fact check, Kev. You're right, Tim. Gucci has 3 kids, a son born in 2007, and Ice in Iceland with his new wife born in 2020 and 2023.
So he got little kids. So it's like, yo, if that don't make you think different and move different, come on.
Yeah, go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, like one of the things is I think that some of the people that maybe are not be involved, or they want hip hop to be a museum. They want it to be something that's stuck in time, and they live their lives as a museum, stuck in time. Like, this is my hot moment. This is where I felt whatever. And as a people, we can't do that. As a people, we got to continue to evolve in all ways, in every ways. The civil rights movement, that was great. How they did it at that time, that doesn't work today in 2026. It's got to be adjusted. It's got to be tweaked, and everything has to continually be evolved. And if we allowing these people to continue to want you just be stuck in place and give them the voice and they are amplifying it, we're doing our people, our community, the hip hop community, a major disservice.
Absolutely. It's a shame because no matter what Pooh Shiesty had just did 5 years or so, he was about to really embark on his career. I mean, we got people got a face covering named after him, like for doing grimy things, man. I mean, he had a connection to the streets, and people were anxious to hear his music.
I mean,
and now we're not going to hear that, and that's the sad part of this, because
you could have lived a different life.
So it's to the point where it's like you can make the music that tells the story,
or be the story,
or be the story, and then other people will make music about your story.
Yeah,
and I mean, because when just doing work, man, like that. There's some heat coming out of Memphis. I mean, Glorilla, Pooh Shiesty. I'm looking at, you got certain videos over 50 million views in 4 months, and they said the expectation was and the anticipation was there, and that's disheartening, because it's not just impacting him, that there are people that are going to attach and emotionally go through everything that he's going through, and you got to be able to show these individuals the game, because
Yeah.
I think to some instances, like, talent is talent, but sometimes you just have that it factor where people are following you. So it's kind of like when we was growing up, and the athletes would be like, well, I don't want to be a role model. All right, well, if everybody is following you, then you're modeling, whether
Yeah.
you choose you want to be it or not. Okay, if you're able to strike a chord and you got the pulse, there's a
Yeah.
level of responsibility that comes with the currency.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And you know, real quick, it really depends on like the people that you have around you can either support you or put you in a bad situation. I always tell the story like back in the day, back in the 80s, somebody tried to rob me for my bomber.
Yeah.
And 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 you know, when we got back around other people, you know, there's four of us, when we got back around other people, told the story, they was like, word, word. So then we went out looking for them, like boys in the hood. And you know, when at first I ain't want no parts of that. After 5-10 minutes driving around Queens looking for them, I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. This that them. I'm looking hard for them. Thankfully, I never found them, but just the energy. One, you young, the energy of the other people around you even changed me to what I wanted to do and how I
Yes.
would have got down. You know, so luckily, like that's the greatest story never told. Like we ain't find them, so I get
Yeah.
to continue to live my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out, because there were the Tony. I was kidding before, but the Tony Yayos and the Uncle Murders and the Cams and others who
Freddie Gibbs.
Freddie Gibbs, who actually were like on that street stuff. I got to give a shout out to Rick Ross, who was like negotiation. You see, like, you know, and he didn't take issue with Pooh Shiesty. He was just like, you got to be able to negotiate. You know, there's nothing you can't sit down and have a conversation about and resolve. So I appreciated the way that Rick Ross handled it. Um, I didn't get Rhodes' scholarly thought in his presentation, but it was spot on in what was needed for the audience he
Yeah.
was speaking to.
Yeah, because we can't claim to be bosses and not know how to
And
do it.
acting
Yeah.
like soldiers.
Exactly. That's perfect example. Like, yo.
Yeah.
So
All
we
right.
will be paying attention to see what's going on.
Yeah, but you know,
And so
hopefully the
Will
internet will be
Gucci
better.
Mane be
one day.
pressured and the streets make him cause him to have problems by not testifying and things of that nature? So we will pay attention.
I mean, they'll just play his record. He don't have to be on the stand.
For real, for real.
So
All right.
Speaking of negotiating.
Speaking of negotiating, so African Bambaataa passed away when did he pass away?
Last few days ago.
April 8th, right?
April 9th.
April 9th. Okay, yeah. So he passed away on April 9th. He was 68 years old, passed away from cancer. Let me share the heading real quick. We know that he has one of the founders of hip hop. Incredible songs, things that a lot of people, some of our early experiences with hip hop and popular songs, but also has a troubled past. Was accused of child sexual abuse later in his career. Found guilty because he didn't show up for court for some things. Lost a civil case judgment because he didn't show up for court. And the internet, some people responded in different ways, and there's a lot of controversy going both ways, of whether you should celebrate the man, whether we should be just
Zulu
kicking
Nation
dirt.
also separated
from
him in that incident, Kevin.
During that time, so overall the question is, how do you deal with his legacy? What is the conversations we should have?
It's hard when you hear someone who's allegedly claimed to be a victim of BAMS, and they talk about their pain, and to not really be focused on that, and because you don't ever want to diminish anybody who's been through a horrific situation like assault or sexual assault. So I think it has to be not a either or. I think this is one of those times where society, if they do their job, is having a nuance. You know, we always talk about nuance on this platform, a nuanced conversation where you include all. And just because you mention one doesn't mean that you are diminishing the other. And his impact on hip hop and thus the Black community cannot be measured. It's literally immeasurable. And the positives that have come from that is immeasurable. So I will look at him and remember those contributions that affected my life and brought me joy and purpose and even a paycheck at some points. But not forgetting that there are people who have said they've gone through the most horrific thing you can go through in life other than being murdered.
I think that this gives us a moment to kind of demystify how we exalt people. If from the allegations and what everything that people are saying, then there was some evil, there was some trouble, there was some things going on inside of him that come across as polar opposite as to what he was presenting to the community in peace, unity, love, and having fun. And just to echo quickly what Aaron said, I don't know the hip hop that I know without Afrika Bambaataa. I don't. I just don't. And it's frustrating that stating that could be misconstrued as over celebrating, not being sensitive to the trauma that was caused. That's another cross to bear. But to your point, and I mean, and from what was being put out there, this was sexual abuse to boys.
Young boy, yes.
So, and I think it's worth saying, because more times than not in the narrative, when you think sexual abuse and crimes, more times than not, you think women.
Yep.
And I'm not here to have a data fight, but I just feel for us as three men,
it's important.
Those were the allegations. So
Yeah.
we're talking about that. Like, for us, we all grew up hip hop. This is what we know. And so it is difficult. But the last thing I'll say, in passing it to you, Kev, we complain about what the US government is attempting to do in erasing and modifying history.
I was gonna go there.
We cannot have that. We can't take issue with that, but then think we are taking a moral high ground in trying to erase the correct history of this culture that we hold dear. I'll stop there.
You know, one of the things is, you know, you definitely feel for the victims of Bambaataa, for the young people. You know, you don't want anybody to have to suffer through that type of pain and go through those type of experiences alone and be untreated, and then have
or not believed,
and then have an entire country.
Hassan Campbell was not believed.
You know, and then have an entire country weigh in on whether you were a victim or not. You know, that's a tough road to go to, and you wouldn't wish that on anybody. But also, I think that one of the things that we do here in America, possibly in other countries, I don't know, but I lived here my whole life. One of the things that we do, we always look for monsters. somebody has to be a monster. Either you're a good person or you're a monster. And
Yeah.
because we use that lens and that frame, we don't treat things in an appropriate way, because the monster,
Or realistic.
the person that you calling a monster, they's a father, they other things, they're people that love them. They've done good things, and they possibly do bad things. Sometimes the monster is living right in your house.
Yep.
We know there's a lot of times where the monster is living in your house. The monster is a family member. And if we are doing this, if we are looking for you out there, you're looking for this evil person with 3 heads and 9 eyes and all these other things, we're doing a disservice to ourselves as a community, what things we should be looking for, how we approach people. And it just perpetuates this thing. You can't, as Tim said, you can't change history.
Yeah.
It's not a but, it's an and. He was a founding father of hip hop. He did all of these things. This groundbreaking single and song. Play it not Play at Your Own Risk. Planet Rock. Everybody loved that song. That song is played all across the place. He Zulu Nation, the work that he did and stopping gang violence, all of those things. And he also abused young boys. He used his position of power to abuse young boys and victimize them. Gained access, grooming, what have you. That and it's not but. It's not he did this, yeah, but he did that. So now we got to erase this. We can't do that in history, because then what happens when the next one comes? Because we've erased him from history, we're not going to figure it out. We had the same thing with Cesar Chavez, and people hid it. People hid the abuse, how he was abusing women, because they didn't want to affect the movement. If you erase Cesar Chavez from history, when the next person who has another movement coming along, if they don't have that historical context to work from and learn from and learn how to move forward, we're just perpetuating the problem. We can't do that. We have to face the enemy. We got to face these issues and have the true discussions around it.
Yeah. I'll just say really quick, Dick. I will say this. Shame on anyone who was around him and knew or had an inkling and didn't step to him. And I'm saying if, because I was not there, but I know we are part of a crew. And I'm not saying that our movement is hip hop, but I can say with full confidence, there were standards we held ourselves to, and behaviors and lines that would have caused fights. Like it just would. Because sometime, once again, going back to that first conversation, that thought of snitching, that thought of silence, like, yo, that's his business. And like we play a role in our dysfunction. And that's something that has to be addressed. We got to do better.
No, one point I want to, couple of points, but I want to highlight what Kevin said, and I don't want the audience to miss it. The sexual predator in our neighborhood, in our community, is not going to have a neon sign on. Kevin is saying that they're going to look just like me and you. They're going to act like us. And we tend to think they're driving the beat up station wagon, with the glasses and the mullet.
And throwing the kids in the back of the van, right?
Yes. No, they work at AT&T. They drive a Honda Civic. And their wife is a school teacher. Oh, that's a little too close to home.
No. But to your point, and even with Kev, it's the position of power that creates the allure.
Yeah. But it's important so that I say that so that we as a society are looking for these people and know that I need to be diligent.
Yes.
Within my own orbit. And I think what's important historically, what you touched on, Tim, is that if we're going to stand on a moral high ground, and I'm speaking about the Black community, about the things that we faced in this country for 400 years, then we have to be consistent. And this is why when you had a Robert E. Lee statue, yes, taking it down was the appropriate thing to do because it spoke to keeping in an oppressive system in place silently. But that absolutely belongs in a museum. It absolutely belongs in a place where we have access to understand and know and read about the context of Robert E. Lee. As to Kevin's point, otherwise we won't recognize the next Robert E. Lee because we won't have any historical reference. That is, and so we need to have that consistency so that we behave that way for a white supremacist. So when we have Afrika Bambaataa, we have the same energy. You know, we don't get rid of him. We acknowledge his accomplishments. It's a little different because he had actual positive accomplishments than Robert E. Lee. So it's not, it's not apples for apples. But we keep all of him in the public sphere because there's benefit for historical understanding and an accurate description of actually what went on.
Absolutely. You talk about Afrika Bambaataa, which leads to, allegedly, the claims against Russell Simmons, like these are all, kind of in similar situations of power. And there are other people in the music industry, music executives, while it's not young people, while it's not boys, it's women, but it's still the thing of that power dynamic. And it's, we just can't erase it. Sometimes they've done good things.
It's Weinstein, it's Epstein. We live in a society where sex is weaponized.
Yes.
And power is presented, and people want access and may be willing, in some instances, coercion. So I would never want to blame the victim, but there is something inside of you that then makes that allure attractive enough where you put yourself not with that expectation, and not that you should receive it, but it is definitely an ecosystem, or the word you was dropping today, an ethos that we really have to look at, because this pattern, if we don't address the pattern, it's just going to continue to present itself in different forms.
No, absolutely. Let me ask y'all, do you think that we as a society are ever going to get to a place where we can handle a complete story? Because as you pointed out, Tim, earlier, so many people will respond to hearing one side of the story and feel like you are championing that person and ignoring anything else you said. Because sometimes people say the whole thing. They acknowledge all the historical circumstances, but they still get roasted. People are still attacked on social media. People are canceled.
Like Chuck D caught flack, the Hip Hop Museum caught flack, and to me, they gave nuanced things. They basically said he did this and this. There was no but. Like I understand, like a lot of the responses that I saw where people just caught major flack. I'm like, they just told the story, and if telling the story is wrong, then silence is what we want. Or for those that are like, ignore all of that because he did this. I just don't think, I don't see any positives around it.
What do you think?
To your point, as a society, we are in a bad state because we want the story to be controlled and palatable, and so we are now we are censoring our storytellers. That honestly, and I mean, we could bring it closer to home. All three of us have had individual and collective interaction with Chuck D.
Yeah.
I've read his statement multiple times. For him to get flack as Chuck D, then it's like, okay, what are we saying here? Then we might as well just create
Pack it up and go home.
create a 21st century version of what you all want hip hop to be, and let that just rock and go from there. So I hope something can happen to cause us to pivot to appreciate the multi-layeredness of storytelling.
Especially when human beings are complex, flawed beings. And not to necessarily to that extent, but even a regular person in society, or an actor or actress who just may be rude to people, or doesn't tip well, and then it becomes public knowledge. We bring the hammer down without. It's like we want humanity for ourselves, but we're not willing to extend grace and extend understanding to others. And we expect them to be this perfect version of what a human is, when we're so flawed and we all have faults.
And so many people that are calling people out are doing the same things in their own world, in their own ways. And so it's like, okay, just because you only got 4 followers and nobody knows what you're doing, but you want to be the amplified voice leaving comments as the morality police. So, but hey,
it's
as we said collectively, to definitely to the victims, for those who are part of crews of communities, like, yo, pay attention. Like you said, it is not the stereotypical movie standout that you can point and be like, that's the Predator. Like you said, Kev. I mean, honestly, when you think about it, more times than not, individuals who have experienced it, as they begin to tell their stories, along the stories, there's normally someone at home.
Yeah.
It was in the house. It was this. I was being babysat, and these other things. So it is definitely a continuous work. To Bambaata's biological, like his family, they lost a loved one, and we are all of the age that people are checking out. And the last thing I'll say to this, and Kev, you have brought this up, as far as within hip hop, Bambaataa passing at 68 is probably the oldest like hip hop person that we know who's passed at that age, which speaks to a whole nother issue that we need to address, because one of our pillars is health.
Yeah.
Like we got too many people in hip hop that's not seeing their 60th birthday.
Yeah, when you said that in the pre-production meeting, Kev, I was like, he's got to be wrong.
And think about it.
I couldn't prove him wrong.
The same way, but I ran through the mental Rolodex and I was like, yo, why he got to be so smart this time?
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, he's right though.
Yeah.
Like, like there, and it's not like this somebody before Bambaataa. It began with them. Like, so
and it's like, and I will say, it felt extra good that the other day, Kool Herc celebrated his 71st birthday.
Yeah,
I was like, yo, hip hop is in his 70s. Yes, it's like, yes, and hopefully he's as healthy as he can be. But but that's a whole nother thing. So maybe it'll be the women that'll be like MC Debbie D will be in her 90s at some point or something like
that. Yeah. I'll say this: if Kev isn't 100% factually correct, because I'm sure if you go and check, we might be able to find somebody who died older. the point is, what his point still stands though. There is not a lot of old people in hip hop who are dying.
Yeah,
they all have been young.
The AARP community of hip hop is real small.
Yes. So,
but we're gonna change. We're gonna change that.
Yeah,
we're gonna be that generation that changes that. So
I know, because I'm not going nowhere.
There you go.
Absolutely, I got a whole lot of time left.
Got more haircuts and bike rides to do. So
for real. No doubt.
All right. So now it's time. We're going to talk about. We're going to give us the Robinson Report.
Yeah.
Those things that are giving you life or making Reggie Jacks mad. I'm not too mad today. I've been mad enough, but I'm gonna be mad at Jason.
Say that again, Kev. What is it?
What?
Things that are what?
Those things that are giving you life or making Reggie Jacks mad.
As Reggie Jacks has a nice T-shirt on that says "good."
Yeah. Good company, baby. I'm good company.
It's like he ain't even wear one of his actively black T-shirts to just be or the Black Panthers free breakfast program hoodie. I got a right to I got a right to be hostile. My people are persecuted.
Because I keep that Boondocks right behind me.
I'm about to say the Boondocks stay there. That it's like, yo, I got a right to be hostile at any moment. Right below Taylor Soul.
No doubt. You know what? I'll kick it off. It's medium.
Okay.
I'm gonna share. It's a crazy report I saw in the New York Times, and it is basically when a big album drops, traffic fatalities increased by 15%. They did a 5-year study, and when major album releases came out, Taylor Swift, Drake, and some of like the top 10 biggest ones, traffic fatalities increased just from distracted driving. Be careful out there. It said, what is it? They researched it. They found 139 traffic fatalities on his album release days, compared to 121 on the 10 days before or after that big release date.
That's just crazy. I don't know how to respond to that.
Yo, that's nuts.
At first, when he said a big album, I was like, "Yo, what Biggie do now? He ain't even alive anymore."
I would think I was gonna say is I guess I'm glad that the heyday of the album releases for us, we was walking. So it's like, I was gonna say, or Kev had the Geo Prism. I mean, so it's like you know what I'm saying? We're like, yo, we hanging out with Aaron when that new PE drop. Yo, everybody wasn't driving,
push, right?
But you know what it was?
Nobody driving, kick push.
I think that because we were driving with cassettes, you really ain't fast.
You really can't get distracted going like
you just put it in play. There's no I don't want to hear this song. I don't want to hear
that. Yeah, there was no. Yeah, we was excited. We was excited with the CD where you could like, it go right to the next song.
Yeah, and depending on your quality of tape deck that you had, you couldn't always fast forward to the next joint.
Yo, I must say,
or sometimes there wasn't enough space and it wouldn't stop.
Distracted driving was us driving in jeans, hoopty with the Coogee rap tape, and the back would open. It's like your turn to get out.
Every time you stop, you got to get out and close the trunk.
Yeah, every time you stop, you got to jump out and close the hood. Yeah. The vehicles,
the cassette tape was
we were
bad
in. Yeah.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the vehicles that we was in was distracted driving. It wasn't the music.
It's bad. You put the cassette tape in and you could hear it rewinding. Something about the pop soon. I don't know if it's just bad tape. I don't know if I got a bad tape or I got a bad tape player.
I was excited. Right. I was excited to stick a cassette in the car where it would flip over without you having to take it out and do it. Like that was an advancement when you would
thought
hear
that was the greatest thing on earth.
Yeah, when
man.
you would hear
all
that
do.
joint flip over,
Oh, man.
it's like, oh, it's like it's your boy Ron G.
Hilarious.
I'll go. Mine's is actually it's a book by Matthew McConaughey. I saw it in the airport when I was in Austin, and the fact that he wrote a book of poems and prayers, for me, it gave me life because I've been kind of grappling with what's the next book that I want to write, and being in the academy but still being creative. And here it just was like, yo, if you just want to write a book of prayers, a book of poems, whatever you want to write, you have the license to do it, and don't overthink that you got to fit into a particular frame. So that gave me life. So that's my Robinson report.
Yeah, so no excuses, but I've been in the hospital saying a lot that they're giving me life to be quite honest.
Except life itself.
Yeah, except for I being up here capping. So I definitely will say coming home. But what is bringing me joy today, quite honestly, is that it is the NBA playoffs begin at 1:00, and the Knicks start at 6 p.m. against Atlanta Hawks, who had the audacity to take their starters and bench them in the last game of the season to say we want to play the Knicks and not the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they don't respect us.
Wow.
NBA analysts are talking about this is going 7 games.
Wow.
I say it's time to put belt to butt, and let's get to some hooping.
And this is Atlanta without Ice Tray.
Yes. Yes. Yo, you got, I mean, when you were 6th seed and you got the audacity to say
we want the 3.
We want the 3 and not the 4. Like, you should just be worried about getting the playoffs, man. You one step away from the play-in tournament. Like, the audacity, man.
So as we leave and tying into that, do we feel the Golden State era is over?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, unless, you know, I think they would have been competitive had they had my man didn't get hurt, Big Face didn't get hurt.
Who was
it? Jimmy Butler.
Oh, Jimmy Butler. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, they got great pieces. They could get it going, but they had to.
They need one more. Well, I don't know. Maybe Jimmy Butler with Porzingis and Steph is enough offensive firepower. The only problem to me is it feels like Porzingis and Butler can disappear in games. And they need, Steph needs a 1A now.
Yeah.
And if they can get a 1A over the summer, then it's not over. But if I just look at sports, Tim, to answer your question, and historically how it just normally plays out, it's probably over.
Yeah.
Did y'all see Steve Kerr last night?
I just saw a little bit of it online. Like he was
he
speaking like
Steph.
He knew.
He went to
Steph and Draymond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kev, he went to Steph and Draymond at the end of the game, and he put his arms around both of them, like they were 3 of them together, and he was like,
Gotcha.
I don't know what the future's going to bring, but it's been a pleasure, or something to that effect.
And then I heard that he said something like, you know, positions have expiration dates. It's like he's speaking like he's
probably walking.
Like,
because his contract is up.
So
yeah.
But I will say I'm not a Spurs fan. I'm excited to see what Wemby's gonna do.
Yeah,
I'm just you know.
I mean, for me, I'm anybody but OKC.
I respect.
I'm down for ethical basketball.
I respect Wemby, but I
think OKC is not ethical.
Yeah, I
you don't like
I
SGA?
That. Yeah,
nah.
What, you think he's foul hunted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say this for Wemby to
He gets a real quick whistle.
Oh, he does, but he's the MVP.
He earned it.
He gets
MVP
real. He gets whistles when nobody touches him. He looks like somebody touches him.
No, he does.
And and to me, it's even
staring
more
hard. You get a foul.
It's even more so than other people.
What were you gonna say about Wemby? A?
I need to see him in the last 5 minutes, Tim, take the game over. I need them to be down by 6 or 7.
And he just takes over.
Yeah. Because I don't see that part of it in this game.
And here is the thing. He's 22.
Yeah.
And
he is.
To be, we've been watching basketball long enough. We saw certain great ones add things to their game. He
did it during this season too.
And so that's the thing, because I think to your point, your point is absolutely correct. It's just he still has time. Yeah, he has time, and he seems to want it.
Oh, absolutely.
And that for me it's a pleasure to see that
he's wired the right way.
That he seems to want it.
Yeah,
and that he's wired the right way. And so, these playoffs, and hopefully Karl Anthony Towns will want it.
Yeah.
And hoop for real.
Well, the Knicks seem to be, for years, they would pick and roll him and Brunson, but Brunson wasn't allowed a lot of rolling for Karl. It was a lot of pick or and Brunson shooting.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks, he's been giving the ball up to Karl. So let's see what happens.
And that's what needs to happen, because then if Karl Anthony Towns can ball out, this Atlanta series is not going 7.
Yeah.
So everything that the Knicks always depend on Karl Anthony Towns' aggressiveness, offensive aggressiveness.
Yeah. Offense aggressiveness without fouling.
Yeah. I mean, defense. I don't know what his plan is. I wonder what's going on in his brain sometimes on defense.
So
what it is, Kev, is that he's so big. A lot of things that he does look worse than other people. And he does what he got to realize is that when he extends his elbow, it looks different than when Jalen Brunson and SGA do it.
Yeah. Because he has a much bigger elbow. Exactly.
But he's doing the same.
No. You're right. But like you said, Brunson sticking out his elbow is in somebody's ribs. Yeah. Anthony Towns sticking that elbow out, it's like the head neck area, so it's a flagrant.
And he pushed them 3 feet away.
And he went like so. But this is Tim. My mic sounds nice. Until next time, have a great day. Have a great weekend.
This is Kev, aka Reggie Jacks. My mic sounds nice.
This is A Love. My mic sounds nice. Peace to my brothers Tim and Kev. Love y'all.
Love See you people, brothers.
In a couple